This NBA season has had maybe more problems, amazing moments, and interesting storylines than we've ever witnessed in a single season. You had the amazing, like Donovan Mitchell scoring a ridiculous 71 points in a single game, Luka Doncic's historic 60-point triple-double, and the Joker averaging a 25-point triple-double at the halfway mark of the season. Then the not so great, like the issues with Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns, Dillon Brooks in Memphis, and the mess that has been Atlanta. And of course, there's been the ugly as well, such as the fight.
It's loose. Hold on!
And altercations that have transpired as of late. And while we know the NBA might not be too fond of that for multiple reasons, NBA fans are definitely enjoying every bit of it, as crazy as it sounds. A viral moment used to be few and far between, but now NBA players are going viral like every other day. But the specific problem we're going to talk about today is the NBA's new all-time leading scorer, LeBron James, and the Los Angeles Lakers.
Coming to the end of the third quarter. LeBron James, a shot in history. And there it is! LeBron!
The first problem being Russell Westbrook. We know he's averaging 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists, while also being the front runner for the 6th Man of the Year award. But is he a championship caliber point guard is the question that matters. And to put it bluntly, we don't think so. The Lakers are trying to win an NBA title right now, especially with LeBron getting older. And with Russ being practically unplayable in the fourth quarter, it almost makes his stats and numbers kinda worthless in a way. Because what good is scoring 20 points and dishing out 7 assists through 3 quarters if you can't give out that same level of production in crunch time? That's a significant flaw. In the postseason, every possession counts. And we've seen time and time again how he makes terrible decisions or takes bad shots in the clutch. And he's really a momentum killer at times. And the turnovers in general aren't that big of a problem because although he is 9th in the NBA in turnovers per game, there are many players in the league who turn the ball over just as often as he does. But it's how and when the turnovers occur that separates him from the pack. For one, he does this thing where he jumps in the air with the ball, and our best guess is he's trying to make his next decision in midair. And you don't need us to tell you why that isn't a great idea. It's senseless turnovers like these that'll completely take the life out of your team, especially a team desperately fighting for a playoff spot. And not to mention, he tries to force passes into tight windows way too often, and we get it. He's the point guard and he should be attempting those passes. But again, it's when and where in the game he does it. It's a big one, but that really is the only issue with Russ, because if it weren't for the bad decision making at horrible times, he's playing pretty good off of the bench. He's providing a great spark for the second unit, and he's exceptional at getting AD easier buckets, whether that be from lobs or bounce passing it to him in the pick and roll. And one-on-one, he's still one of the hardest players to stop from getting to the rim. He's still extremely explosive and plenty strong enough on his drives. We're not trying to take away from his exceptional play. All we're saying is that his carelessness does more harm than good to the Lakers' championship run, if you can even call it that. The Lakers' next biggest problem is with one of their best players and one of the best players in the league, Anthony Davis, and more importantly, his health. It's no secret that when healthy, AD is a top 10 player in the NBA at worst. On the offensive end, he's flawless. There isn't a single defender who can stop him one-on-one. We don't care if it's Draymond Green, Jaren Jackson Jr., Bam Adebayo, Rudy Gobert, Brook Lopez, or any other great paint defender. AD is simply just too skilled of a big man to be stopped by a single player. And of course, we all know his defense is next level. He's arguably the best defender in the NBA when he's on the court. Remember when he locked up Tyrese Halliburton in the clutch and blocked his shot? Add that to the list of incredible moments this year. And in case you didn't know, Halliburton is a 6'5" all-star point guard, and a 6'10", 250-pound Davis stuck to him like glue. The dude couldn't shake him. That's what he brings to a defense: versatility, IQ, and an elite rim-protecting presence down low. He's even 6th in the NBA in blocks per game, and if he played more games, he would be a lot higher. But therein lies the problem. He is, without a doubt, the most injury-prone superstar in the history of the game. He's literally the only player we've ever seen get some type of injury in every single game. And it's not something we like to see because he has the same physical talents and skill as Giannis, and he should be taking over the league much the same as Giannis is doing right now. But AD has ankles made out of glass. And when things get heavy come playoff time, we don't see that being a benefit to the Lakers. So Russell Westbrook is a turnover machine, and he's practically unplayable late in games, and Anthony Davis can't step on the court without something breaking. But now let's focus on the king himself, LeBron James. First off, though, we gotta start here. Congrats to LeBron on becoming the NBA's all-time leading scorer. Kareem set the record nearly 39 years ago, and we honestly might not see that record broken for another 50 years. Love him or hate him, that accomplishment is a once-in-a-generation type deal, and he deserves every bit of praise he gets for it. Long live the king. LeBron James is averaging an incredible 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists in year 20. So he's still a top 10 player in the league. He's still an elite driver of the basketball, and other than Giannis, there isn't a more unstoppable force when heading to the basket. At around 250 pounds, he plays bully ball better than anyone. And the fact that he's crazy athletic while also being ambidextrous just adds to his greatness. Plus, he's putting up these insane numbers while shooting an absolutely horrific 30% from the three-point line on 7 attempts per game. And let's be honest, LeBron shouldn't be attempting over 3 per game to begin with. But if you watch Laker games, you'll see that he'll jack up threes all game long without hesitating. Thankfully, lately, he's focused more on putting his head down and driving, although that idea ended poorly versus the Boston Celtics when Jason Tatum obviously fouled him. It's always risky playing that physical, but doing so gives the Lakers their best chance of winning ball games. And plus, he's shooting the best free throw percentage since his first go-around in Cleveland over a decade ago, shooting 76% from the free throw line right now. And the thing is, LeBron shouldn't be doing any of this. He's 38 years old. This was supposed to be the year that he sits back and lets Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook do all the heavy lifting. But of course, due to various reasons, that has not come even close to happening. LeBron is maybe carrying the heaviest load he's ever had to carry right now. And he's had to put some pretty average Cavalier teams on his back just to get to the finals. But he was young then, and doing it while pushing 40 years old is an entirely different animal altogether. So the point is, if you're depending on a year 20 LeBron to get you to the promised land, then you've failed as an organization to build a championship roster. And not to mention, the Los Angeles Lakers are dead last in three-pointers made per game. If they weren't such a dominant inside team, then they wouldn't even have as many wins as they do now. And Anthony Davis is the biggest reason why they're such a great inside team. So if AD gets injured, like he does, then the Lakers will be both a bad shooting team and a bad inside team, which won't win you anything but a trip to Cancun come April. But it isn't all doom and gloom in the City of Angels. Let's take a look on the bright side for just a few minutes, because while the Lakers do have their problems, they're not a bad basketball team. Let's start with Dennis Schroeder, who's averaging 12, 2, and 4 while shooting 35% from 3 and 87% from the free throw line. On the offensive end, he's been good. He provides decent shot creating ability, he can get to the rim, and he's been a good catch and shoot threat for the Lakers, shooting 36.7% on 3 attempts per game. And on the defensive end, he's one of the most underrated point guard defenders we have in the game today. He's got a massive 6'8" wingspan, which is the same length as Jimmy Butler's arms, and Butler has about 4 to 5 inches on him in height. Dennis uses his length to be disruptive, especially when pressuring ball handlers. He's just overall a solid two-way guard for the Lakers. And the same can be said for Patrick Beverley. On the defensive end, he's doing exactly what he's done his entire career, being an irritant and a pest and making life very difficult for anyone who wants a couple of points when he's on the floor. And the Lakers' newest addition, Rui Hachimura, was a really good move. He's averaging 12 points per game and gives them an extra scorer who can create for himself and takes advantages of mismatches. He isn't the best defender, but at the very least, he gives the Lakers defense a big body to throw at opposing teams. Troy Brown Jr. was also a good move, one of the more underrated moves of the offseason. He's not only been a solid shooter, but he's been one of the more versatile defensive players on the roster, and he can guard 3 positions on a nightly basis. And then, of course, you have Thomas Bryant, Austin Reeves, and Lonnie Walker, who will be crucial pieces off of the bench. And while Wenyen Gabriel is barely seeing any minutes, head coach Darvin Ham ensured it was only due to the center spot being backed up. They're both interesting players, Ham said. Thomas has gotten a bulk of those minutes at the 5 and started for us when AD wasn't available, and he's just been playing with a really good rhythm. Wenyen hasn't really done anything wrong to remove himself from the rotation. It's just a numbers thing, and you only have so many minutes to give out. So he's doing his job staying ready. His number will be called again, I'm sure, at some point. And I expect for him to play like he had been playing at a really high level. He's wiry, probably a little bit quicker, faster, and more nimble. And then you have Thomas that is more of a bruiser, screener, runner, and a really good roller. They both have really good hands and are able to finish around the rim, so it's a good problem to have. And he's right. Usually, whenever you got multiple talented big men on a team, it's a good problem to have. Usually. We're looking at you, Minnesota. But while that's a good problem to have, the other problems we've gone over are not. And with the Lakers missing out on the Kyrie Irving sweepstakes, they might have just missed their only glimpse of seeing the playoffs. And that's why he was so frustrated on social media after the fact. And that's another problem that's been lingering for some time now. How much longer is the King going to tolerate the Lakers' lack of moves? How dependable is Russ in clutch situations? And how available can Anthony Davis ever be? These are all major questions that not only LeBron is asking himself, but so is the entirety of Laker Nation. But what do you think the Lakers' biggest problem is? And what do you think it'll take for the Lakers to be title contenders again? Let us know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.